Welcome to the Night Out in the Parks information session. In this brief presentation, we hope to give you a more in-depth look at how the Night Out in the Parks program partners with local artists and arts organizations to bring cultural performances and events to parks all across Chicago. We'll review our goals, share a bit of history, and go step by step through our call for proposals to help you understand our priorities, how to complete a successful application, and what to expect after you hit submit. Night Out in the Parks draws upon the expertise of community partners and park staff, as well as arts programmers and cultural producers to curate work that reflects the lives and experiences of Chicago's citizens. First, we aim to ensure that every Chicago neighborhood has access to quality arts and cultural programming that reflect Chicago's robust cultural landscape. While we acknowledge that barriers to access are more than economic, we believe that our commitment to free programming is foundational to bringing communities together, and we are committed to presenting inclusive performances and events that can be enjoyed by all. In an effort to highlight our city's rich cultural landscape, we work to ensure our program reaches every community area in Chicago, bringing a diverse mix of all artistic genres and disciplines to parks citywide. From emerging and youth artists to seasoned professionals, our performances and events are by Chicagoans for Chicagoans. Each year, we partner with over 1,500 individual artists and serve hundreds of thousands of patrons, creating unique experiences that deepen relationships within their communities. Last but not least, we produce performances and events in parks to cultivate the kinds of community activities that nurture a culture of safety and connectivity in public space. Active space is safe space, and we know our presence in parks has a ripple effect long after the final bow. We are excited to invite you into this community of connectivity and hope you'll keep these larger goals in mind as you consider how your work might fit into the Night Out in the Parks program. If you are a new partner this year, it may be helpful to review our guidelines for participation to ensure that you meet the requirements. In order to be a Night Out in the Parks partner, you must be a Chicago-based organization or individual artist. Your program must be offered to the community for free. You must be flexible in terms of location, scheduling, and amenities. You must commit to a community relationship with your park partners for the duration of the season. You must remain COVID safe. And you must communicate regularly with your Park District liaison and complete all paperwork, contracting promptly, correctly, and in a timely fashion. As we have worked to streamline the application process, we've been mindful to clearly communicate the 4 key areas in which we hope to see your strengths. We are looking for culturally relevant events and performances that exhibit high-quality work from artists at every step of their career, demonstrating programmatic excellence. We are evaluating your project viability, given both the unique ecosystem of park spaces in the Chicago cultural landscape and the challenges of a pandemic. We want you to demonstrate your commitment to community connectivity through a strategic outreach and marketing strategy that will engage Chicago communities. And lastly, we want you to show us your professionalism and self-sufficiency as evidenced by an affordable, sustainable budget that is fair and accurate to the project's scope. The application itself uses these 4 points as a guide and asks you to share information about yourself in sections dedicated to each goal. In the next few slides, we're going to break down each section, sharing some insights and tips for a thorough application. In sections 1 and 2 of the application, we want to hear about you. Whether you're an individual artist, organization, small business, or collaboration between groups, this is where you can give us a little background. This is also where we ask you to confirm your mailing address so that we can ensure you're a Chicago resident and eligible to partner with us. If your proposal is a collaboration between more than one artist or group, decide who will be the primary administrative contact and make them the point person for communications. This person registered here will be our go-to for all future communications from Night Out in the Parks. Once you've told us about yourself, tell us about your project. We're open to proposals that are ready to go, as well as work that is in development or still taking shape. We're also happy to consider remounted productions that deserve a wider audience. And while we do prefer events that can play in threes, equally presented in the north, south, and west regions of the city, we are open to other configurations if there are defining details that dictate otherwise, such as an event tied to a specific date or a neighborhood-specific project. True to the Park District's mission to put kids and families first, we will continue to champion family-friendly performances and events, but are also inclusive of programming geared towards teen and adult audiences. And we especially welcome culturally diverse and multilingual programming. In this section of the application, we hope to see a thorough description of your project and how it aligns with our goals, as well as any relevant supporting documents that will invite us into your vision, no matter what phase of production you are in. Section 3 is where we get into the nuts and bolts of your performance or event design. If you have a formal advanced sheet or tech writer, you're welcome to attach it here, though it's not required. Please know that, even more so than in previous years, we will have significant limitations on technical resources due to constraints on Park District staff. We strongly encourage you to streamline your tech needs or plan to provide things like generators and sound systems if they're essential to your event design, as field houses may not be as widely accessible as they have been in the past. For similar reasons, we prefer projects that can load in and out in the same day, as overnight security is required for multi-event days and should be factored into your costs if necessary. Here we also ask to know more about your ideal event timeline, as well as the environment best suited to present your work. Do you need a flat surface like a basketball court, or do you prefer to be in the grass? Do you need a covered area? How much space does your performance use? All of these questions help us understand where you best fit into the physical world of the parks. In preparation for developing new engagement strategies, we are asking each partner to name a dedicated outreach and marketing coordinator. This person may wear multiple hats or have this as their dedicated role. Either's okay. That we can liaise with as the season unfolds. Our hope is to provide resources, best practices, and support as we explore new ways of connecting artists and audiences. In the application, we hope that you'll share some of your current efforts and the ways you may have pivoted your outreach efforts or opportunities you tend to pursue to make new connections. Marketing is always a joint effort between the Park District and the partner. We expect you to reach your audiences in your accustomed way, whether that be through canvassing, e-blasts, social media, advertising, but we also encourage you to think creatively as how you'll promote your project to new audiences. In the application, we ask you to include a plan for getting the word out to the community. While we ask a lot of our partners in terms of marketing and outreach, we also offer specific support meant to broaden your reach and reduce your financial burden for material costs. The MyShy Parks app lists all Night Out in the Parks events citywide and helps community members find events by genre, location, and partner. Similarly, the Park District's website will list your program and event description and schedule on our Night Out in the Parks homepage. Your Night Out liaison can help you strategize to identify cross-marketing opportunities in collaboration with park supervisors, park programs, and arts partners and residents, as well as community and civic organizations. And the Park District's social media team will co-host and cross-promote your events and highlight your work throughout the season. It should come as no surprise that, like many arts organizations, our Night Out in the Parks funding has been significantly impacted the past few years. This year's financial awards will be limited and highly competitive, but we hope to counter that by being generous with our ability to provide space for performances and events, as well as production, marketing, and outreach support, even when we can't provide a financial award. In order to craft a competitive proposal, we encourage you to keep your costs low and be sure they represent exactly what it costs to make your events a possibility. And present additional funding you may have secured to make your Night Out in the Park series come to fruition, as matched dollars help create more robust programs. Your budget helps tell us the story of your Night Out proposal. All the components that are expressed in your proposal should be translated through your budget. This connection between your proposal and budget is important in our evaluation process. The budget form falls into 3 categories: expenses, committed project funding, and funding request. We hope to see budgets that are balanced in their presentation, meaning all financial needs should be accounted for in the project funding plan. We place the high value on partners who are able to demonstrate a diversified financial investment in their work, of which we are but one part contributor. In your funding request, we hope to evaluate how the Park District's funding contribution will fit into your overall budget landscape by ensuring that your funding need and your funding request aligns. This tells us that you have balanced your budget and have a plan for how you will support your project. Each season, the program identifies themes that will be celebrated throughout the year. Please know you do not need to select a theme or package for your night out project to be considered. Queering the Parks Initiative is a joyful and affirming celebration of the LGBTQIA+ community in Chicago. We are uplifting the fierce culture and artistry of queer Chicago through playful activations in our parks. Art and nature. Night Out in the Parks pays homage to the natural areas, flora, fauna, scientific practice, and artistic inspirations our parks host every day. We're also interested in proposals that explore the theme of roaming, as it applies to the audience's way of experiencing a performance or event. This could be processional or spectacle-based performance, episodic installations, or work that audiences may encounter at their own pace. All proposals are due by midnight, December 11th. The Night Out in the Parks Review Committee evaluates proposals through January, and outreach to partners and planning begins in February, with the goal of publicly announcing the Night Out in the Parks season by June 1st. Whether this is your first year or your 10th, bringing public programming to park spaces invites the whole city to share one another's stories and to create new traditions together. We invite you to realize your artistic vision with the hopes that you think of the parks as some of the best places to enjoy celebratory moments with friends, family, and those you have yet to meet. If you have additional questions about the program, the requirements, or the application, please reach out to us at noitp@chicagoparkdistrict.com.